Hey, what a great day.
Hey,
We are here at office hours. It is the afternoon. I'm here with my mentor, the incredible Blaine Bartlett.com. No forward slash today. I think we will be, I got to tell you a story real quick because we have a special guest coming on today. Someone that's extremely special to me, but I think even more special to you. I'm just taking a guess, but to my entire family. But I have another mentor. I'm cheating on you, Blaine. And his name's Bob Berg. And Bob Berg wrote this incredible book that I have utilized, and I had him on my podcast and interviewed Bob about Go Giver and the Go Giver network and Go Giver sales and Go Giver leadership. And, as we're talking about it, he tells me that Pindar, the star of his book, is modeled after Bob Proctor. And
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. And then I tell him that, well, Bob Proctor's had a huge impact on my life as a mentor, but he's also the biggest donor to a charity that I'm the chairman of with, someone who I adore. And he says Cynthia Kersey and how much he loves Cynthia Kersey and the Unstoppable Foundation. And it was a great moment of synchronicity, coincidence, but I think more importantly, it's a true example of Go Giving and the attraction of Go Givers that Bob Proctor, Blaine Bartlett, Cynthia Kersey, and myself somehow all circulate in the same frequency of providing value to others with no expectation and yet receiving so much more without expectation. So I've learned so much about giving from you, but even more from our second guest, who I'll keep as a secret right now, because I was just preluding in case we had to bring her on early, because Gary, he's figuring out the internet. He's Gary.
How do I get on this thing? How do I get on it?
That newfangled technology.
Yeah, it's a fad. Don't worry, internet's a fad. And Gary had to shave before he got here, so thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, I trimmed up today.
Face, now your face looks like my back, so we're twins. This is perfect. Like that. All right, it's office hours. This guy, his company is changing the face of something that everybody considers a constant. We need accountants, and there's a big roll up in accountancy. There's technology applying to accountancy, but there's still that idea of service. And when I met Gary Milkwick, who came and met me at SoFi, actually, all I can think about is he's really in the service business. And what he does better than anyone is provide service in a necessary industry, which is accounting. And Gary, let's talk about 1-800-ACCOUNTANT, on the service side of it, and then we can talk about the technology side. But what distinguishes 1-800-ACCOUNTANT on the service side of providing that value to the many?
It's just that we have such a wide variety of expertise among our accountants. So for example, if you're big into crypto, we have accountants that specifically do that. I mean, we have hundreds of accountants on staff, so we're able to best match the background of a client with the background of an accountant to make sure that it's a great match. Because there's a lot of great CPAs out there, but it's impossible for you to be an expert in every single industry, every single state. We have accountants that speak different languages if you're more comfortable speaking in another language to them. So I think that's one of the things. And our focus is just small business owners. We're not going out looking for, huge clients like most accounting firms are. We actually, are staying in our lane of these are our new business owners. We like to get them from the very beginning, from inception. We're not out there trying to steal clients from other CPA firms or anything. We like getting people from the very beginning, training them on what to do, what to look out for, and then providing the best service we can to them.
I love the concept. I mean, I cannot tell you how many different accountants I've gone through over my career.
Right.
I mean, it's just kind of.
I'm about to go through another one.
It happens.
But the specialization, and this is one of the reasons that I've ended up actually moving firms, is the specialization need. as we matured our business, and as we actually, my wife and I matured as investors, and just as
Right.
people consuming, our needs changed. And you mentioned, just right off the top here, if you got a crypto fixation, we got you covered here. But
Addiction.
where the question that comes up is, just given client confidentiality and whatnot, how much cross communication could I legitimately expect? And I would, and I say expect in the positive sense here, that if I had something in crypto that I needed advice on, but I also had something in family trust. Do your accountants actually cross pollinate?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we'll put together a team. There is one primary point of contact, generally speaking, and in most cases, every now and then we'll customize something for somebody that requires a lot of help in multiple areas, and there will be a more balanced team. But the vast majority of the cases, we have one kind of point person. They'll have a support person or two working for them, and then we'll bring in experts as needed. So for example, we'll have a lot of clients that they come in, they're a consultant or something, and then they get into real estate, and they're like, oh, I actually really like this real estate thing. And I've seen consultants come back with, okay, now I've got 20 rental properties. I'm not really a consultant anymore. I'm a real estate investor. And so we'll be able to transfer, and then in some cases we'll even transfer that client to another accountant who's better suited to meet that client's needs.
And I think availability, is not only the remote access that you have, which was existing to the pandemic. So you have experience at something when it wasn't the fad or the necessity. But one of the things that I've learned through the 35 years as a small business owner and a CEO, which makes yourself a small business owner of big companies as an entity yourself, was accessibility. And I'm dealing with that right now. When you have, April 18th and pending, and you have Passover and Easter, it's quite easy for the blame, shame, and justification of your accountant to come out and say, oh, sorry, I don't have that done. Go ahead and file an extension because, I have Easter this weekend. Don't you have a holiday? And can't you appreciate where I'm at? And he's a small business person. There's something nice about 1-800-ACCOUNTANT that there's hundreds of accountants. So, regardless of what you celebrate or don't celebrate, the hard dates that exist for filing taxes and extensions are very much appreciated by your company. And when it comes down to it, I have a plumber at my house, for example, right now. And I always say, I'd love to be a plumber negotiating when your kitchen's filling up with water. Is price really a concern? And price becomes, or value becomes a concern when it becomes Friday, April 16th, and and you don't have any information back, and you realize that you're going to be filing an extension, and that's not what your intention was when you delivered your stuff in January.
That's right.
The amount of accountants that you have and the accessibility from a 1-800 number is a huge advantage over the personal relationship that doesn't even exist because we can't meet our accountants in person anyway. How has that been a benefit for you beyond the pandemic, just being able to have the access that people need to answer questions when they're pretty stressed about it, because it causes anxiety if they don't get an answer quickly, and they're looking on the internet too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what we've tried to do is make it so that we can match up with the way they like to communicate. I mean, we have clients who have day jobs or full-time jobs, and they've opened this business on the side, and they can only communicate when they're at their day job, and they want to do it through chat. I mean,
my own wife can only communicate in between tennis, and it's like at lunchtime, and my accountant's not available at lunchtime, so it's creating a huge problem. I'm switching to 1-800-ACCOUNT.
Yeah. I mean, we make the accountant schedule available too. So when you log on to the client portion of the portal, you can see exactly what my schedule is. So, you set it right there. You don't have to call an office and then try to work it out with them. You see exactly what my schedule is. You can put something on my schedule. You can message me through our message center. You call me on my direct line. I might be busy with other clients right when you call, but I think we do try to make it as accessible as possible. It's still a challenge. I'm not going to lie. It's still a challenge when you've got all of your clients trying to contact you in 1 week. But but I think we are getting better every year, and we've been doing this a long time now. So I think we're much better than we were, 7 or 8 years ago. And I think we're much better than the small CPA firms that I've worked at in the past.
Well, you're also much better at the virtual tax organizer, the client book, the virtuality of the cloud, of staying on top of it throughout the year, where it's not one time, which makes a big difference as well. Go ahead, Blaine. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, you've taken some of the friction out of the interaction just with your online presence. It's as a consumer, I can get my tax planner just by going online. I don't have to wait for it to come in snail mail, and then I don't have to mail it back, and all this stuff. But also the client books. Everything that I might need as a client is going to be right there, readily accessible. Literally, if I can figure out how to use the internet at a push of a button.
That's right, and that's the way we built it. We're trying to make it as we want to keep the costs as low as possible, since we are dealing with new business owners and small business owners. We know that cost is a big factor, and we're not having our clients pay overhead for super fancy offices all over the country or anything like that. And so what we're trying to do is automate as much as we possibly can. And then have the person there to explain and take you the last step over the finish line. So yeah, if you're using client books and have your stuff there year round, you literally get to tax season. We can do your tax return in January, and you, for your business anyways. There's nothing really else that we would need. We might have a question or two, but if you're using client books, we're able to get that knocked out, return knocked out in January even.
Yeah, and you make another good point about the overhead that is established when you have these decentralized, democratized businesses. That I remember one of my billionaire clients and I went to a lawyer's office one time, and we walked into the lobby of the law firm, and he looked at me and he said, "We're leaving." I said, "What?" He goes, "I'm not paying for all this shit." And there's like $1 million art pieces in the lobby, like that was going to cost him. All it did was disappoint. But today we dropped the playbook with you on it, and I will tell you, I think I'm at 1,100 in some podcasts that I've done, and coming in going, okay, I got an accountant, this is going to be interesting. But we had a tremendous amount of fun. You're an atypical accountant, an atypical business that provides value, delivers it well to the masses, and I only see great things. And don't be surprised on April 19th if you get a call from me after firing this accountant for having to give me an extension in between tennis matches for my wife. Anyway.
And it's flooding, by the way, so you price accordingly.
That's right.
My dear friend from Chief Financial Officer, 1-800-ACCOUNTANT. If you're having frustrations with your accountant, make sure you make it easy. Make it valuable with 1-800-ACCOUNTANT.com. You can call Gary directly. He's that accessible. After, of course, the 18th. Chief Financial Officer, 1-800-ACCOUNTANT. Thanks, Gary, for joining us. Make sure you listen to the podcast today. It's incredible. Make sure you drop it as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
You got it. All right. Not to diminish that amazing guest, my friend Gary Milkwick, with that incredible company, but I've waited for this all day. So
me too.
We have an extremely special guest. There she is. She lightens my life every time I see her.
Doesn't she look beautiful?
She is an angel. She is one of the favorite people that I know. She lives her life for others. CEO and founder of the Unstoppable Foundation. Of course, a best-selling author of Unstoppable. UnstoppableCelebration.org is where I want to send you. I don't sell very often, Blaine, on stages, on my shows, but I'm ready to sell today because I'm asking, because I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to find their pursuit of their higher self, to feel good. I'm going to give you a great gift for joining us. We're having an unbelievable event to celebrate all the great impact that we're having around the world at Unstoppable. And so first, Cynthia, welcome to Office Hours. I know this is a very nerve-wracking situation for you with Blaine.
Yeah, I'm so nervous. Well, I've got two of my favorite.
Impress me.
So come on.
Coco and Julia are walking by. Blaine and I are on here, And but we have an important message today, and maybe you could give just a little bit of a background first on Unstoppable, and
Yeah.
then give us some of the features that people can get from coming to our incredible gala coming up, our celebration of champions.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you for having me. And, we talk about champions, and you, David, and Blaine are huge champions of what we're doing. And we're going to be honoring you, David. So we'll talk about that in a second. But to your point, I think we all want to matter, right? We all want to be able to know that when we leave this planet, that we've left it at a better than it is today. And I think people are looking for, like, what's my purpose? How can I contribute? And years ago, I was invited to this African women conference, and out of the blue, right? I'm looking for this kind of next project. Out of the blue, I'm invited to go to this conference. And for 5 days, I listened to women tell stories that, first off, made me very sad. And then it pissed me off, because it's like they're talking about their kids, are dying, they're getting malaria and dying, when the price of a cup of coffee would have given them medicine to be able to help them, live. And girls are spending all day fetching water, and you just hear story after story after story. And it's like, how is this even possible in a world that we live, that people don't have access to basic healthcare, basic services? And so as I was leaving, they all came together and they were chanting, "Please don't forget us." And I'm thinking, who am I? Like, this problem, this challenge has been going on for a lot longer than I've been on this planet. What can I do? And so I heard their plea. I could not ignore them. I said I would do something. And so for my 50th birthday, I had a fundraiser, and I literally, invited people to come to this restaurant. I charged them $100 for a ticket, and I ended up raising $80,000 that night. And what was interesting is people were thanking me for the opportunity to give. And I'm like, wow, that is so fascinating. And so then I got really excited and realized to really do something. So basically, we helped build 2 schools from that birthday party. And then I got really serious on looking for a solution. And as you both well know, you're both on my board. We deliver a 5-pillar solution that not only impacts education, but healthcare, access to clean water, nutritious food, and training for the parents to generate an income so it's self-sustaining. So, we have, so much has happened. As you know, we have enrichment centers and community centers, David, that you've been a part of, helping us train people with financial literacy tools and ways they can start businesses. And we've got, college students that are getting ready to graduate and become nurses and clinicians and medical, staff and mechanics, and giving them the tools to change their life. So when you support this organization, and I've said this to you before in the past, what I understand about giving is that when I invite people to give, I'm giving them an opportunity to change their life. And at every event, every donation, we give people, why did you give? I gave because I'm inspired. I cried. I want my life to be, about something bigger than just me. Like, the list goes on and on. It's not even about me, right? It really is about giving people a chance to really make a difference. And I feel very proud of the work that we're doing. You guys, obviously my beloved husband, you've been with me almost this entire journey. And David, you've been there several times with Julie and your family. You've seen it firsthand. And once you see the profound impact in people's lives, you can't say no, and who wins? We all win because we're a part of this work.
And to that matter, every year we have a gala, we have a celebration to help and to give opportunities to people to feel good about themselves, to allow, as you say, their purpose to be greater than their pain. And, I've studied purpose, and I always say your thoughts about your purpose are your purpose. And there's 2 forms of purpose in my life. And one is forgiveness and the other is love. And I think this gives you an opportunity to forgive yourself maybe for forgetting what we're connected to and through in the world, and uh, how much of one we are. And, to that purpose, we have this celebration. And I couldn't believe, I'm blessed to be a part of it, Celebration of Champions, but I can't believe, who's our featured guest.
You're a champion.
No, not that. No,
That's right.
once again, not me. It's Sarah McLaughlin. Are you kidding?
Oh, Sarah.
Oh, her.
Her too.
Oh my gosh.
Her too. Yes,
Yeah.
Sarah's
Oh yeah,
performing.
her. And we're honoring a special tribute to our mentor, Bob Proctor, who passed this year, and who was Pindar and Go Giver, by the way.
Yeah.
Give us a rundown of the event and what opportunities to give there are at the
Thank
event, and what features we'll be having beyond the blessing that you're giving me, but more
Yeah.
importantly, what opportunities there are for everyone.
Well, thank you. And David, thank you for being a huge champion. You really are. And, we don't take that lightly when we give those kinds of awards, and you get tons of awards. So we're just grateful for your support. And yeah, it's an hour. So the event itself is an hour. And if you want to join David's VIP suite, Thought Leader Suite, you can buy a Thought Leader ticket. Or you can just have a ticket to attend the event, or however you want to experience it. I love the idea of being able to support David and something that you obviously care about. So if you could buy a VIP ticket, that would be fantastic. But yeah, so you can either network with you and all of your other VIPs an hour before the event. The event starts at 5 Pacific, and it's 1 hour. So, at our galas, they were 3 hours long. This is an hour. So we really want to honor people's
It took you
time.
longer
And so
to park. It took you longer
yeah,
to park than our live
exactly.
event.
Yeah.
Seriously, that is a fact. But it's just an opportunity to get into the energy of celebration, celebrating champions, celebrating people who are making a difference, celebrating our community members and the courage that it takes for them to really change their lives. And then, so we've got Sarah performing a couple of songs. We're doing, like you said, a tribute to Bob. The Phalens, we're honoring them with a legacy award, and really sharing. I think what's really important is we don't have an opportunity to get together now. And so this is our opportunity to say thank you, to show you the real impact that you're making, to be a part of other difference makers. We're going to be at My Media. So it's kind of like the big, wall with all the screens. You can see other people. And it's just everybody coming together with that collective vision to say, I'm a champion, and I'm committed to continuing to be a champion to make a difference in other people's lives. And it doesn't take a lot to be a champion, right? I mean, besides just showing up for children and people for this event, buy a ticket. You can donate $31 a month. You're championing a child and their family for a year. And Mary Morrissey always says this: by supporting the Unstoppable Foundation, when she lays her head on her pillow, she knows children are getting healthy food, kids are able to go to school, parents are learning how to earn an income, they're getting clean water, they're getting access to medical care, and they're getting the tools to create a better life. So I really believe, and based on what people have told me in the past, it's an hour of inspiration, contribution, and really coming together to say, we care and we want to be a champion for those who need that hand up.
And just a comment, from my experience of last year's virtual gala, and like you said, I've been to, I think, just about everyone except the birthday party. I missed the birthday party. Mm-hmm. This virtual gala I was surprised. I was absolutely surprised at how fun it was. Not just inspirational, but how much fun I actually had at a virtual event, interacting with people, in the pre-show, getting to know people. That community building that went on there was profound, and it was real. It was not just kind of surface talk. It was consistent around what the mission and the purpose of the foundation is. Mm-hmm. Making a difference. How am I showing up? Well, my experience of people that were showing up at this virtual event, they were showing up real, and they were making a
Mhm.
real difference in the way that they were actually engaging and participating and having fun. So,
Yeah,
folks, I mean, this
like
is just by way of saying, yeah, come on down.
yeah, like what Bob Berg. I love Bob. I've known Bob
Bob,
for
yeah,
over 20 years. Love him. And the go giver, you are in a room with givers. Like,
yep.
what better place to go and to be around other people who are like-minded, who care and really want to contribute and support other people. So it's just a really great, energetic. I think, it's going to be fun. We want to support David, of course, and we just appreciate you accepting this acknowledgement and giving people an opportunity to give to something you care about.
Yeah, I think that's important to me because people ask me all the time, what can we do for you? And, sheepishly, I always tell them, share my content and do good deeds. And that's really my mission in life, is to empower over 1 billion people to create a collective consciousness of happiness. But I think in this case, my new ask, when people ask me, David, what can we do for you? Please share my content. And the good deed that I hope that you do is to buy a ticket, to share in the network, the vibration, the frequency of open-minded, open-hearted, and open-handed people. I will tell you from last year's gala, how many people actually in the go-giver spirit ended up receiving much more than they ever gave, and not just in that feeling good and purpose-driven stuff, but in true networking and relationships and business that was created by having open-minded, open-hearted, and open-handed people. And it's quite an opportunity. And I, rarely do this, but I am asking for help. So please join me.
Thank you
That's
so much. Unstoppablecelebration.org. Looking forward to celebrating with you too, and celebrating with all the people who are watching us today. Thank you for allowing me just to support this, and love you guys so much.
I love you. Almost
I
made it
love
without
you.
crying. I couldn't do it. Sorry. Love you.
I think I'll buy you dinner tonight.
Oh, thank you, Barry. That means I'm not cooking.
You're not cooking. It's on me.
Oh, fantastic. Love you guys.
I
Thank you
love
so
you.
much. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Please
Bye-bye.
join us, unstoppablecelebration.org. It is my ask from now until May 4th at 4 p.m. when you'll network with me, a VIP networking session with me and other thought leaders. And the event starts at 5 p.m. with the extraordinary Sarah McLaughlin, as well as tribute to Bob Proctor, honoring the Phalens, and blessed to be mentioned in that company as well. But please help me help others. And when you ask me, if you've asked me in the past and I haven't given you the answer you wanted, I'm giving it to you now. Please join us, buy a ticket, support the Unstoppable Foundation. It would mean everything to me, Blaine, Cynthia, but it would mean much, much more to yourself. Thank you, Blaine, for helping me with that as well. All right, tough act to follow. We've had two extraordinary guests. We've had Gary and
See if he
Cynthia.
can leap over the bar here.
Yeah, we should have let Cynthia go last, but we'll hopefully Andrew will carry his weight. Andrew Futrell. Andrew.
Oh boy.
See
How's
you,
it going, guys?
Hey, good to see you.
How are you?
Don't forget to join us on May 4th. So it's unstoppablecelebration.org. I'm going to continue to ask until then. But you are just an unbelievable marketer, and you take a perspective of mindset to marketing that I really appreciate and align with. That it's not about the other people; it's about the meaning that you give what you're doing, and internally and externally. And mindsetmarketingllc.com. How have you shifted the paradigm in marketing to have it be more mindset related than advertising and marketing related?
Yeah. So, I first off, before I even start, I wanted to say I appreciate the conversation that I'm coming into. Everything that Cynthia was saying that I got to hear backstage was amazing, perfectly aligned with everything that I wanted to hear coming into here. But yeah, no. So the thought process behind mindset marketing was really it took me back to when I was working for an IT business, and I got exposure to a lot of business owners when I was very young, 18 years old. I started working full time at an office job, and I was dealing with business owners day in and day out, and I was just learning how little they knew about technology from an IT perspective. Right. And being young and impressionable and on social media all day long and in love with Facebook at the time, I, found a mentorship in Gary Vee and was just consuming his content left and right. And I loved a lot of his concepts around authenticity and being practical in your marketing, particularly with small businesses. So I'm based here in Detroit, Michigan, and born and raised in Livonia, about 30 minutes outside of downtown. And the goal with Mindset Marketing has just been to help small businesses, medium-sized businesses, service-based companies, roofers, plumbers, HVAC, but more from an educational standpoint. How can you use digital marketing without being direct to consumer, call to action-y, salesy online? We like to take a creative approach. A lot of what we do is around the video content and things like that. So it's been an awesome journey, a lot of fun for me. My first role at that IT business was training people on how to use the phone system that they had in their office. And I came in at 18 thinking, what the heck? People have been using phones on their desks for like 50, 60, 80 years, right? So like, how am I, at an 18-year-old kid, going to be able to teach them something they don't already know? And it just opened up a whole world for me. So being able to educate people and bring them up to speed on the cool and fun ways to use digital marketing without the spammy call to action-y stuff. It's just been a blast.
I'm struck by the name of your firm. I really want to just kind of give you some kudos on that. Just right off the get-go here. Mindset.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. When I went to university, it was international business and marketing. That was that's what I studied. Went to school in Europe, international business, marketing. Everything is around marketing.
Yep.
Did some work with Colgate, marketing. Just a lot of different things here. And the mindset piece at that point in time was what most people are, fit Madison Avenue, get in front of people and away we go.
Sell your product.
You sell your product. And my experience has been with mindset work, and this is where I'm doing all of my work today, is particularly the leader's mindset. When mindset actually does shift, it by definition creates a shift in identity. My sense of who I am shifts. And until that shift in identity has occurred, the mind shift hasn't happened. I've just been studying some stuff. So from your perspective, that mind shift or that mindset shift, what have you actually noticed with your firm, number one, in that identity shift, but also with your clients? How do they see themselves differently, and how do they go to market differently as a consequence?
Well, it's interesting. So the main concept obviously is just that switch from the direct response marketing to more of the branding and connecting with the consumer, right? So a lot of times with ourselves in particular, it's just a completely different approach. The ads that we run, particularly we focus on paid advertising. There's a lot when you get into digital marketing, obviously. So we focus on the paid advertising portion, and when you take a look at it from top down and taking the approach of the connection with the consumer that our clients are trying to get in touch with, the messaging is different. The video that you put out is different. The script of the video is different. The music behind the video, right? The colors in the photo and the graphic that you're using, all of that is going to change based on the action that you're looking for in that end consumer. So our goal is always to help our clients create a connection with their clients, right? Our clients need to foster that love. We call them raving fans from every one of their clients, right? And the best way to curate that type of relationship is through that deeper connection. So that's where the mindset piece really comes in for us. And it just, at our core, now everything we do is based from that foundation. For our clients particularly, it's the same thing that you see with a Gary Vee type of character on social media. His fan base loves him. When he puts his name behind a product, it's because he believes in it and he's fully 100% bought in, or it's his business and so on and so forth. And his fan base supports it 100%. And they're, hit or misses every single time, and business is business. And, with particularly dealing with smaller to medium-sized businesses as they grow, helping them be able to support the growth and maintain their level of service and things of that nature. But it's been very cool to see that shift happen, both with personal brands, but also these small businesses as well.
And Andrew, as you know, I work closely with Gary, and we'll be speaking at the Guardians in April 26th through 28th together, which will be just always a great experience. But the one thing that I've taken from being mentored by Gary myself, right? I've helped him with his sports agency, but he's obviously helped me with my brand. And from the start, it was something that I hear you say, read about you, and understand that you get, which took me a while. What makes Gary Vee, and what has helped David Meltzer build his brand is Shakespeare. And I know this may sound foolish, but there's two aspects of Shakespeare that has helped me in your space of mindset marketing. One is a simple statement that Shakespeare made, to thine own self be true. I think the reason this is so important today is that people don't understand the size, scope, and scale of an audience. You've reached over 10 million targeted eyes.
Right.
This was virtually impossible before virtual became about. 10 million was in the numbers of targeted eyes, was in the numbers of a Nokia that Blaine would work with internationally. 10 million targeted eyes would have been a huge successful traditional media marketing campaign. And yet, as an entrepreneur in Detroit, Michigan, Livonia, you do that and have reached that, with a very small agency and small budget with a 5-to-1 ratio of return on ad spend.
Right.
But it all stems from your process of to thine own self be true. You won't even advertise until you find the frequency in your client, and then you figure out how to capture that frequency, modify the frequency, amplify the frequency, and perpetuate the frequency so that the second Shakespearean philosophy holds true, which is called the stage theory. And so you need to have a frequency, but the stage theory says the whole world is your stage. Therefore, you can reach 10 million highly targeted. I laugh when, my kids will say sometimes, "Oh, Dad, that video didn't do very well." And I said, "Oh, really? Why?" They said, "Well, you only had 45,000, views." And I said, that's bigger than most of the stadiums that I dreamed about playing in. And that's just one video that is today. Perpetually, it might get 1 million people, which is bigger than any stadium I ever dreamed of playing in. And I've had several, 6 and 10 million stages now that I've stepped on. And, to you, where, was it Gary, or, where did you figure out that this applies everywhere, even to some mechanic in Detroit, that they have their own frequency?
Well, so, and this is why I started off the conversation by saying I appreciated what I heard in the prior conversation with Cynthia. Bob Proctor in particular, rest in peace, was a huge mentor for me starting 8 years ago. I found him 8 years ago, and I was in a rut and learned about the law of attraction, paradigm shifts, how your brain works, and how and from that, I kind of tied it in with the things I was learning about marketing and the platforms we have available. The biggest impact that all of that has had for me and for the business that I have, but also the businesses that we help, has been, long story short, just the fact that no matter what business you are, back in the day, I assumed that, and I don't know, I'm a young guy, but I assumed that fighting for business was far different than it is nowadays. Nowadays, everybody has a platform, everybody can be seen. We're all on social media, like you just said. you could have one video that gets seen by millions and millions of people, and being able to bring that to a small business and show them when they don't think it's possible for themselves to have that platform. It's one of the coolest things on planet Earth. A lot of people don't have that belief, especially, not to speak down on Detroit. I love the area, but a lot of people around here just don't believe that this is something that they can do. And if it is seen, how are people going to like it? How are they going to perceive it? And it's just very cool to see people go through that process and see the other side of that and what happens once that happens. And it's not all bad. There are good people out there that'll support your business and things like that. And especially in the area, a lot of what we do obviously is local, so it's even people in your own community. It might be 100,000 people and that's it. There's no more that you could reach for your service area. But back in the day, it would have been far more difficult. TV advertising, just the cost of entry to even have the exposure to those eyeballs was too much. So it's just a great shift. I'm so happy to be a part of it. I'm grateful for the time that I was born and the things that have happened to me along the way to get me to where I am right now, to be able to provide that service and help people as much as I can.
As you're talking, Andrew. Oh, I'm sorry, David. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Finish up.
Well, I was just thinking, because I'm asked a lot. David and I wrote a book called Compassionate Capitalism. Number one international bestseller. We were number one in 5 international markets with the book when it came out. And the idea, people continuously ask me, well, can you give me an example of a compassionately capitalistic company? My answer today is actually yes. Mindset Marketing. Check them out.
Nice.
I appreciate that. Yes, and that's the goal. At the end of the day, I come from a family of a small business entrepreneurial household, and from a young age, it was just instilled in me that there's an ethic and a moral value that you have to have in business. And at the end of the day, you can do a lot of good and help a lot of people while making money along the way. There's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of people that are scared of it, but there's enough out here for everybody.
Yes, sir.
You are a student of Bob Proctor. We're grateful for having you here, but even more importantly, as part of our Unstoppable family. We look forward to seeing you at the event on May 4th as well. Everybody check out mindsetmarketingllc.com. He is a true compassionate capitalism, Andrew Futrell. Thank you so much for empowering others to empower others. You get it.
And real quick before we kick you off the show here, I'm going to have Nick or Justin reach out to you. I want to get you on my Soul of Business podcast.
I would love to.
Your message, I think, is a sweet spot for what we do on that show. Beautiful.
I'd love to. Let me know. Thank you. I appreciate you both. This has been a blast.
You got it, my friend. Be there May 4th. I'm counting on you.
I will.
All right. Thank you. Right. Take care. Awesome. Wow. What a great episode.
Whoa.
I knew it would
be. Great show today, buddy.
You got it.
Good job.
Takeaway for the day?
You just take it from the top. It was just an incredible show from the standpoint of what I'm talking about and what I'm paying a whole lot of attention to today is how can I be a center of distribution, not accumulation? All 3 of our guests today actually spoke from that mindset, if you will, from that platform. Center of distribution, whether it's 1-800-ACCOUNTANT, whether it's the Unstoppable Foundation, or whether it's Mindset Marketing. All 3 of these organizations and all 3 of the leaders in these organizations are organized around giving. How can I give? Yeah. What do I have that will make your life better? And I just love that. And the theme that ran through this for me today, I had chills as we were talking about this. I was just touched by every single one of these guests today. So much so that I'm buying my wife dinner tonight.
You should send me the bill. That's fine. I love you both. My takeaway of the day was the Bobs, Bob Berg and Bob Proctor, who have such an impact as go-giver, providing value, serving it well, and serving it to the many. And we've, as Andrew stated, have never had an opportunity to deliver that value well to so many people, even if you're in Livonia, New York, Detroit, and for us to be here and for the thousands of people to watch this. I hope they're watching, because my takeaway is also an ask. Be a go-giver.
Be a go-giver.
Join us, the unstoppablecelebration.org. Come and join me at 4 p.m. in a VIP networking. I promise you will receive far more than anything that you give, and always will. Not as a trader in negotiation, as Bob Proctor taught me, but in a value-add world. By you showing up, by you joining us, it will add value to everyone there. And that is the value add that we're looking for. I appreciate you, Blaine Bartlett. Go enjoy your dinner with your wife. I love you. I will see you very soon. I know we have dinner plans. We have the Gala the 4th, and I'm disappointed you can't come to Paul McCartney on the 13th, but in case things change, you're invited.
I know.
We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
You bet, my friend.
You got it. All right. What a great episode. I want to thank everybody for helping us out. Remember, most importantly, that's right, the unstoppablecelebration.org. I'm making my ask. You're asking me how you can help? It's easy. Be kind to your future self. Do a good deed by signing up for our gala to help other people. So unstoppablecelebration.org. Please, I'm asking you, share my content and buy a ticket. Buy a VIP ticket to join me, or buy a ticket to the event to see Sarah McLaughlin. Unstoppablecelebration.org. Be kind. Do that deed. We'll see you tomorrow. I love everyone. This is Office Hours with David Meltzer.